What's good, fam? It's Tuesdays with Tawana. What's going on? I hope you are well on today. Happy Tuesday. This is August 1st, the beginning of Black August. So we're going to get right into it in a moment. Just a few disclaimers and announcements, if you will. So grateful the month of August. I love August. It's my daughter's birthday month. So her birthday is on the 3rd of August and just love it. Hey Tony, what's good? Love celebrating my daughter's birthday. My daughter is the one who changed my life, saved my life as a young mother. She gave me a reason to live and to live better. I wasn't perfect, but I definitely made some changes in my life and, went to St. John's University and took care of her and started my career. And she was the reason because I needed to live in order for her to live. I needed to be well in order for her to be well. So shout out to my daughter. Some know her as Darylyn. Some know her as Kaisha. That's her middle name. Some know her as Dee Dee when she was little Dee Dee. Oh, thank you, Tony. You are as perfect as we can get, though. Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. I love you. I appreciate that. So August we celebrate my daughter's birthday. So shout out to my diva. Happy early birthday. She got some big things in store and I'm so proud of her. Master educator, just brilliant and loving and hilarious, silly. She just has this joy and she loves being a parent. I just love her. So this whole episode, because I could talk about her this entire episode. Jules, I've missed you. How are you? I hope you are well. Thank you for joining on today. So just a few things. This is Tuesdays with Tawana, hosted by me, because my phone is going off, and of course I did not turn it off. Yeah. So anyway, so just a few things. This Tuesdays with Tawana, I am Dr. Tad, your host and your curator. For those of you joining for the first time, welcome. Those who have been my rock and riding with me the whole time, thank you for doing it again on today. So I'm the host and curator, and it falls under Dr. Tad Enterprises. So any other organization that I'm affiliated with, these are my views, Dr. Tad, Tawana Angela Davis, not necessarily the views of the organizations that I represent. But I will insert this narrative very quickly. Soul to Soul Sisters. I am the executive director and, of course, the co-founder. And this is Black August, and we have a lot of things coming up soon. So I encourage you to take a look at our website, soul2soulsisters.org, SOUL, the number 2, soul, SOUL, sisters.org, because we have our Sister Soul Search Retreat in October, and we are celebrating life. It is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, Domestic Violence Awareness Month, Mental Health Awareness Week, LGBTQIA plus awareness. So we're bringing all of that together into one space, and we're going to have guest facilitators. We're going to do some healing work. We're going to do some dancing. We're going to do some celebrating. And we have a few other things in store as well. So if you are looking to be a sponsor or you just want to contribute, because we try to offer things either free at low cost, and because of the magnitude of this event, there is a cost to it. But we do that because of community. we are able to offer other free things because of community. So share this video, go onto the website, make a donation, especially toward breast cancer screening, breast and, your upper breast tissue and your chest area. There is a new screening that's out, and I will not give it out yet. I won't give out the information just yet because I'm learning and talking to the CEO and Tiara Neal, and she's just amazing. But this is totally different from the mammograms that you go in and they're, doing what they do to your breast. A dear friend, Roberta, posted a live video, and I didn't have time to set it up to share it. But she just went in on these mammograms. Like, she kept saying, you got to go and get it. But it has got to be the most horrible thing to experience. Who created this? It's uncomfortable. It's, painful and so on and so forth. And not everybody can get a mammogram. Like if you're breastfeeding or if you're pregnant or if things are going on. So there is a new technology out there where if you are body feeding or if you have other underlying ailments that prohibit you from getting any type of radiation, this is for you. We are really serious about reducing this 41% mortality rate of Black women as compared to white women. So stay tuned. I can't tell you everything all in one episode. I gotta switch it up a bit here and there, gotta switch it up. Hey, brother, good to see you. Yep, good to see you. If you missed last week's episode, go watch it. You'll understand why I did this and why I'm shouting out my brother, as always. So another thing I want to mention is anytime you want to make a donation or sponsor any event, you can just go on to the Soul to Soul Sisters website and make that donation and note what you want that donation to go to. We do mutual aid, we do reparations. If you happen to get, an inheritance and you want to sow into a Black organization because of the ills and the strife and the layers of trauma that we had to deal with, feel free or give me a call. My number is 917-409-8882. And my email address, you can email us at info@soultosoulsisters.org. So those are my PSAs for today as we jump into Black August. Black August. We're living in a time where the folk in Florida and in Texas and in other places, they want to remove libraries and use them as like space for discipline for children, and I wish I had Dr. Rosemary Allen as a guest. Maybe we'll hook that up for sometime in the near future. But they are really, this school or womb to prison pipeline is real. So, they're taking that away. They don't want us to learn. So what do they do? Take away the books. They're claiming that we've learned skills and stuff in slavery and it was beneficial for us, which I'm not even going to entertain. We all know on this podcast that is a bold-faced lie. It's a lie from the pit and depths of Hades. And you took us from our home where we were surviving and thriving and brilliant and creating. And then you built this company on our backs with our blood, sweat, and tears. And some of our blood is still crying from the ground. Some of our blood and our ancestors are speaking at Lake Lanier in Georgia or in Central Park in New York. So the list goes on and on and on. And so they're doing all these things because they think that, without knowledge, without proper health care, without proper support and humanization, that the people will perish. And they are right. If we don't do anything to stop this from happening with our creative prowess and our divine power and our brilliance, because we created, you name it, we created it. The damn super soaker, you name it, we created it. We know the stuff about peanut butter and traffic lights and things like that. But there's so much more to us that we did not learn during slavery. In slavery, we were murdered. We were separated from our families. We were raped. We were forced to be separated from our children, but we took care of white people's children. We, had to run into hush harbors to worship. We couldn't sit in certain places in the church, and the church was problematic where, it was encouraging slaves, obey your masters, and women must be silent, and so on. I mean, it just goes on and on and on. And so there is nothing. But see, what good came out of it is because we're resilient, because we are brilliant, because we are divine, and because touch not my anointed. Right? So we are still here, and you keep trying, colonizers, to keep bringing us down and trying to erase us from this place. You even have other ethnic groups who are fearful and hating us, and just because of the color of our skin or the way we present ourselves or identify ourselves as Black, you want to dismiss us and erase us. Hi, Donald. Hearts right back at you, beloved. Hey, Miss Odessa. I'm so glad you're here. Thank you for joining. So with all of that, right, trying to remove us, if we, let me back up and let me breathe, because this whole, I can't believe this is happening, in our world. People are really, they're taking away our rights to our bodies. They want to tell us what to do with our hair. They want to stop us from getting an education. I mean, it's so frustrating. And with all of that, we have so much power. I read a post the other day from a dear friend, and he said, don't get it twisted, people. Don't just listen to the media, because the media is not showing the great stuff. And he didn't say stuff. The great stuff that's happening in community and how groups are coming together to fight the school system and to fight for health care and to support those who can't afford, and doing mutual aid and fighting for reparations and doing, people are doing stuff. And now that we've gotten to that point, if we can come together so everyone can do their part, and we can fill the entire circle, that circle of life. We can put money and dollars back into the Black community. The trust is there. Because sometimes we're our own worst enemy with the judgment and the mistrust and the labeling and the disrespect and the dehumanizing. It comes from our own people, which is absurd. Because they have this white thought and this white supremacist thought, and they somehow believe that their Blackness is exempt for some reason. I don't get it. Hey, D Music, welcome. Hearts right back at you. So So, Black August, right? So, all this stuff is going on in the world right now. But back in the 70s, there were freedom fighters, martyrs. As a matter of fact, let me pull up the quote. There was a CNN article, and it says that, and this was an article maybe a couple of years ago, but it was written by a black person and mentions some black beloveds who are writing books and doing work about Black August and why it's important and why it's and what differentiates it from Black History Month. So Black History Month, you have your celebration of those history, those of the past that lead us into our current prowess of creativity and brilliance and beauty and wonder. Even though we're still celebrating the firsts, right? The first black woman to the first black man to the first trans black person to, we're enough, right? We're already in 2023 and we're still celebrating first. But the Black August now takes us to the next level, a deeper level for our understanding. And not that we have to prove a truth to anyone, because we know of our experiences. Whoopi Goldberg said it on The View today. A lot of our stories are not written. They are oral because we come from an oral tradition. But just because it's not written down doesn't mean it didn't happen. And a part of white supremacy is worship of the written word. You know how you hear the saying, if it ain't written down, it didn't happen. That is very white. Because believe black women, believe black beloveds, believe black trans, believe us when we say something has happened or something is going on or talking about my family history. It may not be written down, but I have it because my grandmother, I sat at her feet and so heard those stories. And my great grandmother, she heard those stories from her mother. From my grandmother heard those stories from her. So they just keep passing down. So just because it's not written down doesn't mean that it's not unbelievable or it didn't happen. So we honor, this is a quote, during Black August, we honor Black freedom fighters, many of whom were killed by the state or imprisoned for defending Black lives. This is Monifa Bendele with the Movement for Black Lives. And she said this they said this in a statement to CNN. This month is a time to reflect and to learn about the legacies of Black revolutionaries while we re-educate ourselves to the protracted struggles against white supremacy, colonialism, capitalism, and imperialism. We study, we plan, and pledge to continue the work and fight for Black liberation. That's what Black August is about. So what I offer you today is, as this is August 1st, the beginning of Black August, that we take some time to truly learn about these revolutionaries, these freedom fighters, these martyrs, even those who may not receive like the national attention, like, the Black Panthers. And this article, I believe, even lists some folk that you can research. We just lost Shakur, his first name just escaped me, but we just, lost him, unfortunately. But he was a freedom fighter and part of, this movement for Black lives. And, we think about people like Audre Lorde, who was a freedom fighter through her writing prowess and telling her story and how she had breast cancer, and she writes journals about her cancer journey and about healing, and Black people at that time and now, but it was worse then, didn't have the access to doctors and people who cared, and medicine and people who honored our pain. So when people had mastectomies or lumpectomies, it was extremely painful because they weren't given pain medication, because we weren't acknowledged or honored as human beings. Or if you think about revolutionaries like Sojourner Truth, who stood up against the church and the fallacies and the patriarchy and all the other things that was going on that was harmful to us. Or people like Mary McLeod Bethune. And when you think about the term lifting as we climb, that came from us. That came from our communal prowess to lift as we climb. So as I grow, others will grow with me, or as others grow, I grow with them. We don't live as this in this Western, we live, but we don't embody or shouldn't embody this individualistic Western way of doing things. It's either or I get mine, you get yours, or I'm in this for me. You only live once. It's all about me. Yes, you only live once, and I say dream big, but I'm talking about from a communal level versus, white supremacist thought and white supremacy and racism is talking from a dehumanizing deficit level, right? So they're already coming from a model that is taken away life and life more abundantly, and adding on to trying to take lives away in so many different areas. When we talk about affirmative action being removed, and one of the justices even agreeing to this when he was accepted to Harvard, I believe, with the affirmative action policy. And one gets so brainwashed, and then you begin to believe, well, actually, I got in on my own merit, that meritocracy. No, you didn't, bruh. You didn't. So you are going to receive what you can receive and then stop others from receiving it. That's very white supremacist thought and white individualistic thought. And it is dehumanizing and degrading to others who now no longer can benefit from their dreams coming true, their brilliance being exemplified in, higher ed or anywhere for that matter, right? So Black August is really about learning about past revolutionaries, taking a moment to reflect on where you are and where you stand as a person either who identifies as Black or who is down with the movement for Black lives. Because when I talk about being a womanist, right, it's not only for Black people, right? There are other ethnic groups that can identify with womanism, because womanism is communal. Womanism is centering Black women and Black experiences, because we are always decentered. And womanism is not another elitist ideology. It is one that is inclusive. That's one that is building, one that is lifting as we climb, one that is each one teach one that is able to speak truth and still be in relationship. Or I can love you more than enough and walk away if we're not, evenly yoked or on the same, we don't have the same essence. We don't have the same beliefs. And I can walk away and I can show you better than I can tell you, because I'm not going to wear your burden of ignorance. Right? So Black August is really calling for us to learn and to pray and to rest. I added rest. because the Nat Bishop, Trisha Hersey, talks about, as soon as we rest, those who are contrary to our beliefs and contrary to our lives, they say that if we rest, we're lazy. We gotta work 80 hours a week and no rest. And nah, you gotta take a rest because you don't want your job to kill you, because you are replaceable, beloved. You don't want your whatever ailments you're dealing with not to be able to take a moment and just rest and let your cells and all of that regenerate, so that you can get the energy and you can build muscle and you can build healthy cells and healthy brain cells. And that requires rest, beloved. So for this month, some people fast during this time. Other people learn about, like Nat Turner's rebellion, which happened in August, the March on Washington, the Watts Rebellion. You can look at Black nationalist leaders like Marcus Garvey. You can, look at some Black women who often aren't noted in this list, right? Some women, Angela Davis and Asada Shakur and, oh gosh, it's so many women that need to be learn about some Black women that were and are revolutionaries, and send them love and light, so that love and light and enlightenment might come back to you, so that you might know, how do you fit in to this revolutionary space? You may not be able to march in the streets or to go to the Capitol in whatever state you're in, but you can do something as a revolutionary, so that we can live our lives and live our lives more abundantly. We can live in a healthy way. We can live as human beings. And you look at me and you see me. You see my pain, you see my trauma, you see my joy, you see my beauty, you see my divinity, you see all of that, and you honor it. And then you offer me and create a space for me to be able to receive those things that were taken away, not only from me, but from my ancestors, so that I can begin to build for my children. So Black August is a time of reflection and a time for you to just dream big. The Afrofuturism is about seeing us Black folk in the future. So what can you do? And you don't have to be Black to dream about Black people and what can be done, because you have a voice in the boardroom. You have a voice at the Capitol. You have a voice at the dinner table. You have a voice amongst your friends, where you can speak life into the beautiful Black experience. So this Black August, I offer to you some restoration, some rest, and also feed yourself. Learn about our revolutionaries, past and present. Learn about the martyrs. Reach out to Reverend Dr. Nakia Robert, who has the Abolitionist Sanctuary, and learn about those who are unjustly incarcerated and how the prison system is really a money system and commodifying our bodies. So she can tell it better than I can. But just to shout out my beloved friend from Harlem, Nakia Robert, Abolitionist Sanctuary. So, just do something. It's a little bit each day to honor those who are fighting. And we at Soul to Soul Sisters, we are fighting. It uses a lot of energy, and we are fighting. We are fighting against, those who are, with reproductive justice, with Roe versus Wade being overturned. We are fighting for Black maternal health. We are fighting anti-Black racism and racism. We are fighting for reparations. We are fighting for health equity. We are fighting for the right to be joyous and to be healing and with joy and health. So we are doing all these things as soul to soul sisters, as revolutionaries, as Black beloveds who are centering Black beloveds and the Black experience, so that we can move beyond the status quo and we can go against the status quo, so that we live and not die at the hands of systemic ills. Jimmy is in the building. I miss you too, beloved. Thank you for joining today. And with that, we're gonna close. We're out of time. But Black August, let's do something. And it can be private, it could be public, it could be communal, it could be individual. But whatever it is, honor Black folk. Honor yourself. See yourself as a loving, beautiful, divine human being. See yourself as worthy. See yourself as a co-creator and a dream maker and one who is planting seeds for a beautiful future for our beloveds who are coming behind us. See yourself with the power to do these things. Regardless of what you've been through. We've all been through stuff, right? Right? But now you have an opportunity to turn that around. Or if you've been doing this revolutionary work all your life, now it's time for you to take a moment to breathe and see which direction you're going to go in. Who can you partner with? Because one thing, we don't have to do this on our own. We do this in community, beloved. And this is why we do Tuesdays with Tawana every Tuesday at 2 o'clock, building community, one womanist episode at a time. I love you dearly. Thank you for joining. Shout out to Harlem Underground for the Blackfish shirt. I always appreciate you, Harlem Underground. Thank you for joining. Thank you for those who will listen to the replay or listen to the podcast, which is on every single podcast platform. Just punch in Tuesdays with Tawana and you can listen to any of the 123 episodes. Yes, today is, I think, 124. So I thank you because I am, because you are. And I love you to the moon and beyond. Peace, beloveds. And take some time to love on you and to remember those who came before you during this Black August. I'm out. Later.